Hi everyone. There is so much to say on this subject and I realized that this video would be too long, so I decided to cut it in two parts. So in the first part I will be speaking about love relationships in general, the different aspects and dynamics we can find in love relationships. And in the second part I will talk more specifically about what we call spiritual relationships, such as twin flames, soulmates and twin souls. So to define love relationships, we must first define what love is in a love relationship. Falling in love is to recognize the other as the self. I recognize you as being me. Or it is I project onto you all the qualities that I would like to see in myself or that I cannot see in myself. And so it is also this aspiration for unity, because from two separate entities we merge and we become one. And I can find in you this completion. I can finally feel complete. When we fall in love, all our feelings are stirred up. We feel joy, we feel excitement, we feel happy, we see everything in a positive way. Sometimes we don't even recognize ourselves anymore because we lose appetite. We always think about the loved one, we cannot concentrate on anything else. And it's like we found the missing parts in the other, so we really float in this bubble of happiness. When we fall into a passionate relationship, the attraction and the recognition in the other is so strong that the relationship becomes a condition for our own well-being and our own survival sometimes, because this passionate relationship can become so obsessive that the presence of the other is demanded in order for us to be fulfilled, in order for us to live. Otherwise it feels like we don't exist anymore. Once the idyllic period of love has passed, usually after a couple of months, we will begin to see all the flaws in the partner that we haven't seen in the beginning come to the surface. And slowly but surely the other's presence will become unbearable. We blame the other for his faults and the other will blame us for our faults, and so the couple might enter this conflict phase where the two partners will rip each other apart on many different levels, and in the case of the passionate relationship it can also lead to destruction. So why are relationships so complicated? Everything we perceive as exterior to us is actually a projection of our consciousness. So everything we perceive is a reflection, a mirror of who we are. So all relationships are mirrors. But love relationships are like magnifying mirrors. Because we spend so much time with the other, because there is this intimate relationship going on, and the other will simply reflect all the unconscious things that we cannot see about ourselves. And life works that way, and it's really well made, because life will basically find someone and put them in front of us, in front of our eyes, so that we can see, we can perceive everything we're not able to see inside ourselves. And life works this way because this is what makes us grow, this is what makes us evolve. And we can say that being single or living on our own is really satisfying, relaxing, and maybe gratifying, but it doesn't offer this mirror that is so important for us to have in front of us in order to grow, to evolve, and to expand. And so what will happen when the partner reflects all the aspects of ourselves that we don't want to see? Well, our ego is going to have a very strong reaction, because it's like a threat to the ego. The purpose of an ego is to maintain its survival. So our ego will point at the partner and say, this is what is wrong with you. And the partner will strike back, and then we will strike back again, and then we are in this vicious circle that continues on and on and on and on. Our definition of love is largely based on the way we have perceived and received the love from our parents, and especially the parent of the opposite sex. So let's say that the parent of the opposite sex was very distant and cold, then that becomes the definition of love for us. So distance and coldness. Or on the contrary, if the parent was very overprotected us or smothered us, then this will also become the definition of love we have. The good news is that love relationships, because they are magnifying mirrors, are actually the best tool for healing the past, healing our wounds, healing past traumas, and therefore guarantee us an expansion of our being and our soul. So how do we know that we attract the right person to be able to heal? There are two possibilities. Either we attract a partner that is the exact reflection of our parents of the opposite sex, very similar, or we will attract someone who is the exact opposite of that parent. Now, in the second case, I have noticed that actually most of the time this person will be the opposite of that parent, but only on the surface. Because when we start digging deeper, we might realize that there are a lot of resonances on the subconscious level with that parent. So it's very interesting to see these dynamics going on, where we will choose a partner that is the exact opposite of that parent on the surface, but on the subconscious level they are the same. So among the classic patterns we might see in love relationships, or the classic dynamics we might see in love relationships, we can find the dominated dominant, victim perpetrator, victim savior, perpetrator, all three interchangeable, narcissist and codependent, codependent and addict, mother-child, father-child. When we want to explore our relationship patterns, especially if they are repetitive, so if we seem to always attract the same kind of person, the same kind of relationship, the same kind of situation, it's very interesting for us to dive deep and to actually go in introspection and ask ourselves these kinds of questions. How did I experience my relationship with my father, my mother when I was a child? What is the main feeling, emotion I have kept from this relationship? How was my personality formed through what I received from this parent? What are the needs that have not been fulfilled in this relationship? So then we ask ourselves, what is this partner reflecting to us that connects with this relationship we had with the parent or our parents? And even more interesting, we can discuss it with the partner, and we can invite the partner to ask himself or herself the same questions and discuss it with her or him. And it's no secret, communication is really everything in a love relationship. So it's important to be able to go in introspection, but it's also very important to be able to remove all the barriers that we have, so all the masks and all the shields, so we are able to have a really open-hearted connection and communication with our partner, where we can listen to each other and respect each other's emotions and needs. So this was the first part of the video. I invite you now to watch the second part, where I will be talking about those spiritual relationships such as twin flames, soulmates and twin souls. Sat Nam.